Hello, this is my annotations for my on-course book. We're just going to go through and highlight some of the notes and talk about the things that we learned. First of all, I was really encouraged about this book. When I first saw it, I didn't know exactly what to expect. But as we were going through it, I started to realize that this is a lot of stuff that I've already covered in counseling, in cognitive behavior therapy, and group counseling. Just the basic ways to start taking power and acceptance over your life and responsibility for the choices that you make and the consequences that happen because of them. So what really struck out to me in the first chapter, I believe that was personal responsibility. Yes. That's one that I try to practice a lot in life. If I say yes, I will do it. If I say no, I don't. But it also highlighted a little bit more for myself that while I will accept responsibility for stuff, sometimes my initial reaction is to defend or give a reason as to why I made that decision. For example, at work, if I didn't set up one of the boards correctly because I work on CNCs, I could be like, oh, well, yes, I did do that. However, I got distracted with this or something along the lines. I try to give a defense as to why I made that decision that I did, whereas that might come off as not accepting responsibility fully. So that was good to highlight and note so I could keep that in the forefront of my mind going forward, not to give a defense automatically, but I think that might tie in with the inner guide or inner defense that we talk about later in the book. But yes, there's a lot here, so I'll keep going. I did resonate with the creator fixed mindset a lot, coming from the fixed mindset very much so, and then starting to grow in the creator mindset. And that's where all of this schooling journey started, as well as working in a field that I've never worked in before. Creating a planner and schedule. I've always been a planner person just because I cannot remember things for the life of me, so I need to write them down multiple times in order to get it to stick in my head. And it's the same way with taking notes or learning things. That is the best way that I learn, is by writing it down and writing it down multiple times, or even re-listening to it over and over again too. We are still, I believe, in chapter 1. There's a lot here, so I don't know exactly how quickly you want me to go through this, because I know you want to keep it relatively short. Journaling was a huge step for me in my personal growth. Just being able to start flushing out things that would typically keep you stuck in a fixed mindset. I think that's a great way to keep motivated and to get that out of your forefront of your mind so you can focus on other things. There's just so much good stuff in here. See if I can get down to maybe a couple quotes that I found interesting. I don't even think we're out of chapter 1 yet. So another area that was very important to me, and I know we're not on it on the notes, but I'll just talk about it anyway, was employing interdependence. For me growing up, I always had the core belief that I was a burden to people. And that started obviously with my parents. I'm the oldest of 6 kids, so anytime I ever needed to come to my parents for something, I would kind of shoot off. They had more important things to do, other kids to take care of, yada yada. So that core belief, even though they didn't say it verbatim that you are a burden, that was something very much set forth by their action or lack of action. So to this day, I did not like to ask for help in any arena of my life. I've just tried to figure it out, which usually led to more of a fixed mindset and a negative outlook on life because I was just kind of stuck. But ever since this past year of personal growth and circumstances that have happened, asking for help and employing interdependence, working with other people, that has been integral to my success. And to the outside world, that might not be a huge success, but to me it is, coming from a stay-at-home mom for 5 years with 2 kids, divorced, homeless, no skills in the work field, but got myself a job, got myself a place to live, bought my own vehicle, enrolled in college. Like, these are all things I never would have done on my own, and it was only from that support group that is mutually beneficial. And I talk about it in the On-Course project as well, that I am currently living with my best friend of 20 years, who is also helping me raise my daughter and my son when I have him here, but we also help each other around the house and financially, and she was a great motivator to getting me to get into school. She helped me with the process of enrolling, figuring out FAFSA and all of the other aspects needed to get into schooling. And we go to the same college, so that's helpful. So then we can bounce ideas off of each other, and she can help me navigate my valley, the Canvas, all of those good things. Self-motivation is something that I never really employed, but trying to do that more so now, because it helps squash that inner critic or inner defender of a voice by focusing on that purpose and passion that we have in life. So that's something I try to do on a daily basis, especially when I sit down for homework and I start to feel overwhelmed and thinking, like, what good is this going to be? Am I going to have to continue to go to college after this? How long is this going to take? Will it even get me where I need to go or want to go? All of those negative things that come floating around. That's a great way to employ that self-motivation, is go, nope, this is what I am passionate about. This is what I want to do. I want to show my kids that they can do hard things and accomplish success in life. So that is what I am focused on. I don't know if you want me to continue to go through all of this. I mean, we are barely touching the surface here because I got a lot of highlights and notes and things, and we are well over that 5-minute time period. So, I mean, as you can see here, I have 223 notes, 586 highlights, and some bookmarking going in there. So, I think I'll just scroll through a little bit more, see if there's anything else that pops out to me. I mean, overall, I would definitely recommend this. I think this is a mandated class, but this is definitely something I wish that we would be teaching in high school, or even middle school. Like, start off sooner. Start teaching kids how to do these things. That way, then when they do step into a more mature area of life, high school and beyond, they're more prepared versus just having this slapped on them when they start college, especially if they don't grow up in a healthy family dynamic where most of this is supposed to be taught. I definitely think that is a great idea, and I'm wondering how that would be possible to maybe get this information to, like, elementary schools even. Start teaching kids. We're getting closer here. Adapting lifelong learning. That wasn't something that I necessarily had in the forefront of my mind. It just kind of automatically thought of that. And I don't know how to explain that, but yeah, we're always learning stuff every day. But being consciously aware of that and making that a decision, I think that was something that I took away mostly from the lifelong learning, is deciding to continue to pursue things and to stretch yourself in everyday life things, not just in academic knowledge. Maybe that is what you're passionate about, but not just limited to that arena. It's like maybe learning more about yourself or what you're passionate about or what makes you tick and how to grow from that, how to come out of those self-inflicted prisons, like I believe it was John Francis, the YouTube video, TED Talk that we watched for this. That was definitely eye-opening to think that he decided to stop talking for 17 years, and that it allowed him to learn how to listen. Maybe that's something I can get my 13-year-old son to employ, is the silence, so he can start actively listening. That would be the day. I just loved how all of this ties into my personal interests of human behavior and psychology as well, and also the major of social work and how well that will fit into that and how encouraging it will be to have these already in the forefront of my mind going into that. And we're getting closer. I'd appreciate too the little healthy behaviors, education on drinking and drugs and sleep and all of the other things that maybe some of us may not know the consequences of and how that can affect you and your goals, especially when you're stretched thin with working full-time and going to school. Those are definitely good little highlights to note. Yeah, 7 to 9 hours of sleep for adults, that was huge to learn because I was living off of like 5 for the longest time until very recently where I decided I need to start sleeping more. Okay, well, we did make it to the end, so I hope that that was encouraging, and again, I did really appreciate the book, and I am excited to continue forward in this journey. Thank you.